All right, students, Mr. Lopez is back again, yet again with another AET tutorial. Today, we're going to be going into talking about our journal entries and creating an SAE project or supervised agriculture experience. Now, the first thing you want to do, of course, is go to theaet.com, and of course, the chapter number is California 0034. You will put your username and password. If you forgot that already, then make sure you tell your teacher because they're going to tell you what that is, and that way you don't have to complain. So make sure that you have this part done and signed in. And of course, you sign in. Once you sign in, it should look something like this. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over to the journal tab. And you can do that in two ways. You can do that by pressing on this thing or this thing. All right, let's go ahead and pick this guy right here, this pencil. So right here, with your journal entries, or your journal tab, you will see many different things. Okay. So number one, if you are planning on raising an animal for the Ventura County Fair or some sort of project like that, maybe you just want to raise some goats on the side, or maybe you have some alpacas, or maybe you have goats that you just raise, or you're mowing lawns or different things like that. You're doing different projects. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing a project with that you can get credit for, and so you will be putting that under Project Experience Manager or SAE. And so you can review any of your entries that you will put into here on this area here, and we'll go over that in just a bit. But the different things that we want to see in these entries is the most important ones, because you see so many different things on here. If you were an FFA officer, you would be obviously using this one. But if you're not, you don't have to worry about it, okay? The ones that we mostly care about, of course, is we want to see that you are having some of your community service hours in here, because sometimes when you're an FFA, you put in some community service in there, but that's just one of the small parts, okay? Now, when it comes to putting in your time into your project, whether it's raising an animal, or you're building a barbecue grill, or you're conducting a science experiment, that is going to be going into this area here where it says time in your AET projects. That is really important stuff. You'll be putting your hours in there. But other than that, the second most important thing is putting in your time for your FFA activities, which is right here, time in other FFA activities. So this would be stuff as meetings. If you went to an FFA meeting, maybe you went to a competition, you would put that in this area as well. In both of these, actually, you'll see in just a bit that when you put it into one, it kind of puts it into the right category. But maybe you went to the Made for Excellence or Advanced Leadership Academy and you put that on here. Or you went to Green Hand Conference. Maybe you went to Best Informed Green Hand. All of those things will be going in here. You competing in anything like welding, or you competing in farm power, that's going to be going into time and competition. So let me stop talking and let's just start doing. The first thing we want you to do in terms of this assignment, you're going to be starting an SAE project. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is go to Project Experience Manager right here. Okay, you see my mouse? Click over here. Perfect. Alright, so you can see right here that you have nothing at all in here. Alright, but that's about to change. Okay, now whether or not you are actually doing a project, or what, pretty much whether or not you're doing one at all, we want you to start one anyways. Okay, because for first year members, if you are a green hand or a first year, maybe you're a freshman or a sophomore, or maybe you're a junior, but whatever, maybe it's your first year, you have to do a planned SAE project anyways in order to receive your green hand degree. So pretty much that means you make a make-believe one. All right, and then later on you will change it up to make it your real one, as because maybe you're just planning out, maybe this is your first year in FA and you don't want to do a project just yet. Maybe you don't want to raise an animal, but maybe you will your second year. All right, perfect. You're going to plan it out anyways, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Add New, which is right here. We're going to add a new project, okay? Now, first you want to think about what is the project that you're going to be doing, okay? And there are different types of projects, and hopefully you've already been taught about what those different types of projects are. There is a foundational project, which is just you. This would be your make-believe project that you're learning on what to do and whatnot, but you don't get really much of the experience of using the full capabilities of AET Recordbook system. If you are conducting a science experiment, all right, then as your project, then you will be putting it under agri-science. All right. Let's say you don't raise animals, you don't do any project or whatsoever with the FFA, but maybe you do work. Well, hey, that counts, all right? That can count as your SAE project, even whether it's paid or unpaid, all right? If you're in my tractor restoration class, you would be putting this in unpaid placement. If you are working on the side, maybe you mow lawns, or maybe you work at a grocery store, something that has to do with agriculture, then yes, that will count as an SAE project. But make sure you let us know what that is beforehand. That way we make sure that we know, yeah, that sounds like it can count as an SAE project because it has to be agricultural related. The most common one is the entrepreneurship project. Entrepreneurship means that you are taking on a project and you're taking full responsibility of it, such as this is one of the most popular ones. So, such as raising an animal for the Ventura County Fair, or raising an animal at all that's livestock. So, this would be the number one most common one. All right. So, we're gonna go ahead and select this one because I believe that's what most people in here are probably gonna be doing anyways. All right, and this also, of course, can pertain to students building projects as well and selling them. The point of the SAE project is to put hours into it and make money off of it. And so that is the point of an SAE project. And so that way you can gain responsibility. Let's say here we're going to be raising a pig, okay? Now, let's say you can name this whatever you want. So you can put a project name. I'm going to put first year pig project. Now, you can name it something like that, or how about you just name it the name of your pig or something. Maybe you're going to name the pig Betsy, okay? Betsy. There you go. So, the next thing you're going to do is look at the level of focus. What this means is, are you doing this on your own? Is this a school project? Or are you just doing this? Service learning just means that you're kind of just community service. Like, you're just doing it just because. Well, most people, when they're raising an animal, they're doing it individually. All right. Let's say this is a barbecue grill. You'd probably be doing this on your own, anyways. Even if you have one other partner, just put individual. Okay. All right. So we put in our name of our project. You can either name it the name or maybe first year, because for many of you this might be another project. You're probably going to be doing another project the next year, so you don't want to get it confused. So make sure you make it distinct. All right. Now, next thing you're going to do is you're going to pick the category of what it is. All right. So there are different categories in which they can be. All right. Agribusiness systems would be if you are starting a business of your own. Maybe you are starting a business in which you're selling plants and you're growing plants. That's probably going to be agribusiness systems. Or maybe you're just working for a company. When it comes to working for a company, actually, that would go under career readiness practices. Okay, so you are working. So you're gonna be selecting this. All right. For animal systems, that's going to be the number one category that most people are going to be doing because they're raising an animal. But let's say you are welding up and fabricating a barbecue grill to sell, then that would be under power structural and technical systems. So any ag mechanics projects we'll be putting on here. You can explore the rest of these things on here as well, but I'd say the two most common ones is animal systems for people raising animals, and if you're in ag mechanics, you're going to be doing a power structural and technical system. And if you want, I will be doing another video on solely just this to help those students out, because this video is really tailored to students that are raising animals. So we're going to select animal systems. All right, perfect. So right over here, now we're going to go to our subcategory. And obviously, beef would mean that it is a steer or a bull. Dairy would mean that it is either a dairy goat or a dairy cow. Swine, well, swine is what we're looking for, because if you didn't know, swine is another word for pig. But these other categories that we have are sheep, goats, poultry. Poultry would mean turkeys or chickens or ducks. It could be anything that has feathers. Okay, anything that has feathers and is producing eggs or some sort of anything that you want for it. Equine would mean horses. Maybe you're raising horses and you're teaching them how to dance. Oh yeah, that's going to be equine. Aquaculture means that you're raising fish. Small animal, that would be like your rabbits or rodents or whatever you're going to be raising. That doesn't fit any of these categories. Wildlife, I don't see this as a very common category, but wildlife is one. Specialty animal would be like maybe you're raising an alpaca, maybe you're raising a llama, maybe you're raising I don't know, a quail. Actually, a quail will go under poultry. But still, specialty animal would be something very different. All right, maybe you have an iguana. How about that? Iguana. Perfect. Like that. Veterinarian, that means that you are partaking in curing animals and medicating them and whatnot. So that would be that. But the category that we're going to be picking is swine. All right, perfect. Now, what are you? So, if you are, let's say that you, because everybody seems to think that when you raise an animal, you have to sell it at the Ventura County Fair, but that's not the case, okay? Some people are just doing this because they want to. So that would, let's say you're just raising pigs because you want to raise pigs and sell them, and you're not taking them at all to the fair, that would be head of commercial breeding swine, because you're breeding them and you're selling them. But the ones that we're going to be using in terms of the Ventura County Fair is head of show swine, and then these other ones you can just forget about them. You might be seeing a different category if you're in another one. Maybe you're not on swine, you're on goats or something like that. Then that's what you would do. So this animal is a we're gonna put it under market replacements. Because it is a market animal. It is not a breeding animal. If we were using it for breeding, that means we're breeding it to produce more. But let's say this is for raising an animal for the fair, so you would be putting that. Perfect. We got started with this part. This was all of this is setting this part up. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click over here that says Explore AFNR categories, because these things have to meet state standards. This part is gonna take a little lengthy, so take this time to make sure that you have everything filled up very well, and then we'll go on to the next part. All right. So we're gonna go Explore AFNR categories. All right. Perfect. So you can see that there are different categories. All of them are the different types of projects you can raise or do. So the one that we're obviously going to go to is animal systems. So we'll click on animal systems. So this right here is you're going to be picking out one or two. How about three? We're going to be picking out three of these things in which that you will you have a goal on using. Now this is just showing you all of them. We'll be getting back to them in a bit. Okay. Let's make sure that we don't backtrack. What I'm going to do is, I guess this is just to read what they are. So we're going to go back. I'm going to go back again. Oh, it looks like you cannot go back. Oh, that's because it just opened up a new one. Okay, so let's just forget about that part, students. Sorry that I took you off on a sidetrack. It looks like that's in a different part. We're going to go ahead and hit save. All right, perfect. So this right here, all right, is you can see that there are many red sections. Alright, the first thing that we want to do is we got to clear up as many of these things so that it turns white or green check marks. Alright, that's what we're going to be looking for at the end of the year. So as you are partaking in your product, this part right here will be filled out. This over here will be primarily red until you are done with your project. And this is the most important part, if you will. So for those of you that have not completed this and you've raised an animal this past year, make sure you get it done, alright? Or else you're not getting your degrees. This is important stuff. The first thing we want to do is we're going to click over here where it says plan, alright? Because the first part of having an SAE project is that you planned it out, okay? We're going to spend the majority of our time in this, and this will conclude this first part of the video, just so that you kind of get that part done. That way, I'm going to try to cut this down into sections, so that way it doesn't confuse you too much. But yeah, so this is where we're going to be going to next.